Hi guys, welcome to another Divi Theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. We got a great fun one for you today. As you can see, we've got this little element here. It's sort of jiggling back and forth. And it's going to stop for about 3 or 4 seconds, start back up again. Going to get people's attention pretty quickly. And you can apply this to pretty much any element. We've got it on a little Blurb module there. Again, it's going to stop and it's going to start doing it. Put it on a little button or something like that. It's going to get people's attention. Really nice little thing to do. Really easy. So let's get started. I'm going to go to a different page here. And let's enable the Visual Builder. Great. Well, I'm going to show you 2 methods of doing this. The first one, I'm going to do it on the page itself. Now, if you just want to use it on one particular page, this is the way to do it. In a little while, I'll show you how to do it site-wide if you want to. So we need to go somewhere. We need to add a little code module. So I'm going to roll down. We made this one-page scrolling landing page a while ago. Let's do it here. I'm going to add a new module. Really doesn't matter too much because code modules don't take up much real estate to your site. I'm going to use a code module, as I said. Now with the code module, as we're going to be writing CSS, we need to tell it we're writing CSS. So we need to add some style tags. Left pointy bracket, the word style, S-T-Y-L-E, and right pointy bracket. It'll add the closing tag for you there automatically. Great. Well, first thing we need to do is create a class name that we're going to call these elements. It can be anything you want, but I like mine to mean something to me. So I'm going to call mine Jiggle, for want of another name. J-I-G-G-L-E. Like I say, you can call yours what you want. That's what I'm calling mine today. We note and close some curly brackets now and tell it what any element with that ID we want it to do. Well, I want it to animate, so I'm going to say animation, A-N-I-M-A-T-I-O-N, colon. And we need to give our animation a name. Again, you can call it what you want, but it wants to be unique. Let's call it Jiggly, J-I-G-G-L-Y. I want mine to run for about 4 seconds. I want it to sort of ease in and out, so I'm going to say ease, dash in, dash out, and I want it to keep going and going and going. So I'm going to have it infinite, I-N-F-I-N-I-T-E. Perfect. Now that we've got this little animation, we need to create it. So if we drop down from our curly bracket right there, we'll use keyframes to build this animation today. So we can say at keyframes, K-E-Y-F-R-A-M-E-S, then the name that we actually gave it, which was Jiggly. Now we can open some more curly brackets and decide what we want to do with our 4 seconds up there. Well, like you saw, I want it to sort of jiggle, basically. And I'm going to use a bit of rotate CSS for that today. So let's say at 0%, that's when the page loads, beginning of second 1 of our 4 seconds that we've got up here. We'll open and close some more curly brackets. I'm going to say transform. And like I say, we're going to use rotate, R-O-T-A-T-E. Right at the end of the rotate, we need to put some round brackets with no gap. Make sure you don't put a gap at the end of rotate there. And initially, when the page loads, I want it to be the right way around. Don't want it to be jiggling at all. So I'm going to say 0 degrees. 0 D-E-G for degrees. Great. Well, now we've got that. It's really easy to create the others. I'm going to copy this. Control-C to copy. I'm going to drop down one. I'm going to paste it in there. I'm going to make this perhaps 2%. And I'm going to rotate it by 3 degrees. That would be clockwise. I'm going to drop down again. Let's say 4% perhaps. I'm incrementing up in 2 percentages each time. And you can adjust this for your taste. This time, I'm going to make it negative 3 degrees. Negative 3. So it's going to rotate the other way. Now I've got these two. I'm going to copy both of those. Control-C again. Drop down one more. Control-V to paste. And I'm going to make this one 6%. I'm going to make this one 8%. I think that's probably going to do it. Then this last one, the 8%, I'm going to put that back to 0. So it's going to go from normal. It's going to go 3 degrees this way, minus 3 degrees, and 3 degrees this way, then back to 0. And I want it to wait there for the rest of our 4 seconds, which should be around 3 seconds. So I'm going to copy our last one here, the 8 degrees. I'm going to drop down one more time. I'm going to make it 100%. So from 8%, it's going to stop animating all the way up to 100%. Like I said, that's probably about 3 seconds. Adjust. If you want it to do it for longer, make this number bigger. Or if you want it to jiggle more, make this number bigger, the 3, but have the same on each of them, negative and positive. Great. And that's all we really need to do for the coding. Now, to make any element jiggle now, we need to grab our class name out here. And we're going to grab it without the dot. When you write it as code, the class name needs a dot or a period there. When we apply it to a module, it doesn't need it. So let's copy that, Control-C, just the jiggle. And any element that we want to jiggle, let's put it in here. We just need to give that class name. So we'll go into any element. Doesn't matter if it's a section, a row, or a module. It will all be the same over in advanced CSS IDs and classes. Make sure that you put it in the CSS class, not the ID. It will not work. As soon as I put it in there, you can see it's doing that little jiggle. About 3 seconds later, it'll do it again. And like I say, that's getting people's attention. And if we roll down, you can apply it to anything you want. Let's perhaps apply it to this image. Again, make sure you put it in the class name. And what about this button, perhaps? Advanced CSS IDs and classes. And like I say, if you want to, you can apply it to whole sections. Let's apply it to this whole section here. Let's save this one. Getting a little carried away here, but as you can see, it works. Yeah, I'm not sure about that with the white background. Let's take that away. Of course, to just get rid of it, it'll stop doing it. But we could apply it to the button or the row that the button's sitting in. You know how. Advanced CSS IDs and classes. And if you happen to have one class name in there already, it doesn't matter. You can add a new class name after it by just putting a gap and another class name. You can have multiple class names. CSS IDs, though, you can only have one. But we're dealing with class names, so that's going to work fine. So let's take a look at the front end. Like I say, this has been an example if you just want to put it on the one page. And then I'll show you how to put it site-wide. There we have it. That's jiggling back and forth. That's going to catch your eye pretty quickly. And I think we applied it to a few more things down here. That little button. Oh, and that image up there. Fantastic. And then that little button right there that fades in and out. Great. So let's re-enable the Visual Builder. I'm going to copy that code and I'll show you if you want to use it site-wide. We'll go down to our little code module we put in down here. Just under the video. There it is right there. Code modules, like I say, don't take up much real estate. If you have trouble finding it, just go to your purple button. You can go to wireframe mode. And you can roll down and find it that way. It'll say code module. Of course, you can give any of these what they call an admin label, which you'll find under content. For identification purposes, if you're using several of the same modules, is a great idea. Call it what you want. So that makes sense to you. As you can see, it's come up with that name there. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to copy this. Now, I'm going to write it into our additional CSS panel or our custom CSS panel. So I don't need style tags. You only need these style tags if we're using a code module. So I'm going to copy from the .jiggle there all the way down to that last curly bracket. Control-C to copy. That's great. What I'm going to go and do now is go down to my dashboard. Now you can go to Appearance and Customize, or you can go down to Divi and Theme Options. Once at the Theme Options under the General tab, if we roll down to the bottom, we've got a Custom CSS panel. I've got some in there already. Let's just scoot it down. Or you can go to the bottom and put it on the bottom if you like. I'm going to give this a title so we know what it is. And the title is / ***. Anything you write in between those two stars won't be read as code. Great place for notes and titles. And let's just say Jiggle CSS. I can drop down again and just paste it in there. Bing. There it is. Now all I need to do is save our changes. And I can go to any page on the site and apply this to any module, section or row to make it jiggle. So let's go up to our pages now and find a page. Once in the pages, let's go to one. I'm going to go ahead and edit with Divi. And if we roll down, see I've got a hover effect here. This is only appearing when I hover on it. But to make it jiggle, I know you know what's going to happen. Into the module or row or section, advanced CSS IDs and classes. Paste it in the class name. If I hover over it, it'll appear and it'll jiggle every 3 or 4 seconds there. Same with these down here. These are exactly the same. They're hover effects, I think, but we can still apply it to them. Go into this module. Save that. When I hover over it, it's going to come in and it's going to jiggle a little bit. I've got this little animated parallax section there. Let's perhaps do this title. Advanced CSS IDs and classes. There we have it. Like I say, you can apply that to any module, section, row. Let's save our draft. Make sure this is going to work on the front end. If I roll down, we've got our little supercar right here. Jiggling away. Fantastic. I think we did that one, or this one right here. Every 4 seconds. We skipped our little animated section here, but we did that little title. Fantastic. Like I say, simple things like that really do get people's eyeballs on it, which is exactly what you want. And of course, it'll work just as well on tablet and mobile. So as usual, I'll put this code down below the video. What I can't do, though, is put the pointed style tags if you're going to use it in a code module, so you have to write those yourself. But the rest of this, I'll copy and put it down below the video. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a little demo video just like this one. So once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.